name's Krista. I'm otherwise known in the cosplay community as KayPickle. I'm here today to kind of talk about, the awesomeness of foam tiles. The types of costumes and accessories that I'm able to make with foam tiles are larger props as well as like full body armor suits but made out of foam. As far as like accessories for stuff goes, it could be anywhere between like, making a wrist guard or maybe even like a knee pad, elbow pad, and like small pieces as well. I've been crafting with foam tiles for about 4 or 5 years now. Actually, the first material I started out with and kind of grew better and better and started making larger, more amazing things. So with foam, you don't have to have any sort of advanced foam skills or anything. Literally that was the first material I started off with was foam, and then eventually just advanced my skill levels while it came to like cutting foam, how to attach it, how to add different levels. So you can be anywhere from beginner level all the way to advanced when it comes to foam. So as far as different materials that I use when working with the foam tiles, my big one's going to be the heat gun, hot glue gun most of the time, cement glue, X-Acto knives, definitely a pen. Those are really nice to do like a nice fine line of like your stencil into the foam, an easy line for you to trace out. I also use tape. If let's say like I'm heating something up and I need it to hold into place, I'll tape like a certain round off edge of the foam so it holds into place right there. Once it cools, I'll remove it and then the foam actually stays within place. When searching for costume prop building materials, the most important thing I look for is the quality of like foam tiles. Like, does it have a lot of dents in the foam? Is there a lot of bubbles that I'm gonna have to get rid of and fill in? I also look for like what kind of adhesives I'm gonna use for that specific build that I'm doing. So my favorite thing about foam tiles is it's super cheap. What I mean by that is like you can get a 4-pack of foam tiles for like $8, whereas like other materials such as like Worbla or Sintra, you're looking at a little bit more expensive cost per sheet for it, a little bit harder to work with as well. So if you were to compare foam tiles with kind of other cosplay material products such as like wood, Worbla, or Sintra, it's definitely one of the most easier ones in my opinion to manage. It's very what you would call like heat resistant, so you can heat up a certain piece, hold it down for a little bit and it's going to be a lot more flexible and hold to that certain position. My favorite thing with foam is it actually expands a little bit and actually has a little bit more stretch. So when you're wearing like those big kind of like armored pieces all over your body, you're not like this kind of robot just walking around. You've got a little bit more flex with it. You can still make giant durable props with foam. I'm making a giant hammer right now and it's really durable, so I mean that gives you kind of an example of what this stuff can really do. So for size and reference, this is the hammer I'm building. It's almost as big as me. The durability with the foam tiles when it comes to like making costumes or props are pretty good. You just really have to seal the foam properly. Like you can do that with like either Plasti Dip. I do 3 layers of like Mod Podge, Plasti Dip, and then sometimes filler primer depending on whether or not I want to harden the actual foam. I've had foam props last anywhere from like 2 to 3 years. A really cool thing foam kind of has a pro over other cosplay materials is that you can add in a lot more texture when it comes to things. You can literally carve in with an X-Acto knife, kind of like tree bark designs, and then take a hot heat gun and blast it, and then the lines will start to expand. You'll get more of that wood texture, which looks a lot nicer than having to take maybe like Worbla or like Sintra and actually having to physically paint that design on there. Foam is very forgiving, so you can literally kind of like stretch it and like not stretch it too much, but you can stretch it to the point where like you can do like a band where it's moving kind of on your arm. Foam is also really great to use as kind of like weaves inside of wigs. So you can take like a piece of foam, heat it up, maybe curl it a little bit. Let's say I wanted to add like 2 pigtails onto a foam wig. I can take that heated up carved piece of foam, sew it to the actual weave of the inside of the wig, and then actually put the hair and the adhesive on the actual foam piece itself and bring the hair over, and that gives the wig a little bit more like poofy texture to it. So my favorite costume I've ever made out of foam is definitely my Rengar costume. it really shows how much detail you can actually take and do with foam. You can take and make big, giant, like scaled, shoulder pieces, right down to like small, like belt buckles to, just little round parts of like that look like buttons almost. It probably the most detailed costume, more complex foam costume I've ever built. Thanks so much for watching, guys. My name's Krista, otherwise known as KayPickle in the cosplay community. I hope you found at least a little bit of this interesting, fun, and informational. Thanks again.